following live broadcast is rated ESVPG. It's a mystery what topics we're going to talk about, and mystery of the words we're going to say. Enjoy. Here we are again. It's another episode of Ear Shoulder Voice. I'm Keith, and we're going to talk about we have no fucking idea. We didn't prep anything or anything like that, but it's current topics about whatever's on your mind. So if you got something you want to talk about, let us know in the chat. Otherwise, you're going to see us bullshit, but we don't care what it is about. Okay? Deep, hard, hitting, heavy, soft, lighthearted. We're there for you. You guys ready?
Yep. Sure.
Yeah.
That sounded confident. That sounded really confident, Anthony. I like that. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Ear Shoulder Voice. I am Keith Lipfin, and I am glad to have you here tonight. What's the topic tonight? It's the open forum show. That's right. Whatever is on your mind, whatever you want to talk about, it's your show. We'll discuss it with you. Bring up anything, and we'll just have a Discord conversation back and forth because that's what we like to do. But we like to do it with your thoughts, your opinions, and your ideas in mind because there's no judgments here. Anything goes. But we have to have a panel to talk about. But before I bring them in, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow to Ear Shoulder Voice. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Sorry, Meta, not Facebook, but either way, same place. So we're there. And feel free to live chat, join the panel. You can go do that by going to earshouldervoice.com and engage us during the show. Live chat, we'll respond to everything you say live right here. No opinions are wrong. We're here for you. So let's bring that panel in. All right, our first panelist tonight is the one and only. He used to be the king, but he's changed it up. It is the Conqueror. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, Bill. I'm a little better than I was Wednesday, which is fortunate. But, still not 100% there, I swear. The older I get, these colds kick my ass harder and harder every year.
It gets you. I just got to say, I watched your little introduction of all the people that have been panelists on here and stuff like that, and I'm a straight guy. But that last guy whose face flashes up there, he's a damn good-looking man.
That's just the logo. That's all it is. It's just the ESV logo. It's not a real person. It's a drawing.
Oh, damn.
Jane's here, says, look at that beautiful panel. Thank you very much, Jane. And it's Keith Liffin. Yes, that is who I am, and I'm happy for it. Woo and whoa, King the Conqueror. Jane, she's got energy tonight. All right, I like that. All right, let's bring our next panelist, Scott. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely amazing, if I may say so. Not really, it's just how I like to express myself. What's been going on with you, Scott?
Nothing. I got over the same thing you had.
It's
we
around.
all had something this last week, so.
Yeah, everybody was hit with it. And like I said, it's harder and harder the older I get. It just lasts so long, it doesn't go away. The worst part is like the coughs. And that's probably from being a smoker as well. But even people I know who don't smoke, like those coughs just last forever. On there. But at least you got over it. How long did you have for?
I think we all kind of had it around the same time. It started on Sunday night going into Monday.
Nailed it 100%. Yep. So. All right, let's bring our final panelists out. Anthony, have you been sick like everyone else?
I had a couple days nasty sinuses, like Tuesday, Wednesday, but I was good by Thursday.
All right. Well, that's how we're all doing, everybody. How have you been doing out there? If you got anything you want to talk about in the chat, please let us know because we're here to talk about anything. All right, so we got everybody here. Is anything on anybody's mind that is interesting and fun and entertaining? Let's see if this is going to be a 30-second show.
There's someone on this panel who last Wednesday actually lit a cigarette while they were on the podcast. Who said they had quit smoking, but I see a cigarette in their hand now.
And you know what? I didn't until today. I actually just bought these today. Like, I know if I'm on that podcast, I'm going to want them. It's so damn hard, and it's just not hard. It's a lot of it has to do with just tradition or routine of stuff you do. Like, that's why drinking is so hard with it. Most of us who drink when they smoke. So if you try quitting, it's a hard thing. And I chain smoke on this damn show. Like I do. I always have a cigarette going on here for some reason on that. And it's the repetition, and it's just the habit. Morbius. Woo. Jane wants to talk Morbius. I haven't seen Morbius yet. Has anybody seen Morbius?
I
No.
haven't
All right,
seen
spoil
saw
it
it.
for us, Jane. Don't really spoil it. We don't want to be spoiled. But tell us, was it worth it?
I hear it was horrible.
I heard that too. I heard one of the big things.
I've got one of the apps that steals the movies, and I get
Right.
it for free on my phone. I can watch it. I wouldn't pay to go see it, but I watched
Really?
it.
You wouldn't pay to go
No.
see it? I'm curious because I heard that like Morbius was supposed to have a ton of Spider-Man references in it because it was supposed to be carrying kind of that story and that universe together, and I guess they pulled all the references from that movie, so it had nothing to do with it. And I was wondering if that really had an effect on it. And Jane can tell us if it did or not. In there. So what else we got? She's going to tell us about Morbius soon, like that. Anthony, how have things been going with you? Anything in the news? Nothing in the news, really. I mean, still everybody's talking about that slap.
Not really.
Yeah,
They're
which
kinda
I don't
dying off
understand
on
why
it.
people are still talking about that. I thought
It's
it,
over.
It happened.
'Cause-
Cool, whatever.
Because the Academy can't make up its mind. I mean, now they're banning him for 10 years.
Oh no.
He's heartbroken. The one time he gets
Oh,
awarded,
no.
he gets banned the same day. So, you know.
Yeah, he can't
was so
attend
funny.
Flight 10. I heard they were actually going to
Everything-
take the award, too.
Really?
That's
I
the
did
last
hear
thing
that,
I
yeah.
saw in my Smart News feed. And I haven't seen anything
That would
since
be
then.
great. I'm just saying.
That would be wrong. I actually
no, it
I
would,
think
be, it would
taking
be
the-
really wrong.
would be
It
wrong.
would be really wrong, but
because he earned that before the slap.
that would be
However,
a slap right back at him, though.
it would be, that's for sure. That definitely would
Like,
be.
you slapped him, we slapped you. We're
There's
even.
just hasn't been a lot. I mean, we got the Justice Supreme Court, and like that's a big deal. Like we already knew this was going to happen. There's not a whole lot going on in the news, and I hate to say this, kind of a slow one, but there is something exciting happening. That's because we got Drina here. Drina says, "Where's the key? Where there's keys in your background, play something. It's my birthday weekend." So you want to do the honor and play something for us, really quick, Anthony, for Drina's birthday weekend? You're not frozen. Don't pretend you are. He was faking.
He was
I can
trying to
tell
be.
he was faking.
I was looking for something in the background. I was going to be like, hey, the fan's on.
Shit. Nothing's really hooked up, to be quite honest.
All you gotta do is plug in and hit power, right?
The power's not even hooked up. I just woke up like 3 minutes ago.
Well, you should always have your keyboard ready to play. If you're gonna show it, you gotta be ready to play it.
Yeah, it's not even hooked up to my. Yeah, this. Trying to think. I don't even have cables in here. All my cables are in my bag.
Okay, so I may be
Way
wrong
to
about this.
disappoint Drina.
I'm sorry, Drina.
I may be wrong about this, but Anthony, didn't you have almost no hair on the top of your head the last time I saw you?
No, I always have hair. I've had hair on the top of my head for a while.
I thought you had it cut up. Oh yeah, you've had hair there for a while. Yeah. You must have
Yeah,
it
that ain't
pulled
new.
He just grew that in last
I
week.
normally.
back. You must have it pulled back.
Yeah,
I mean, I could grow
normally
that
have
hair
it
that
pulled
fast in 3 weeks, but
Can you imagine what you could do with other things?
No, this is my
God.
tribute.
God.
I'm just gonna leave this like this for right now. I feel like this is a nice.
Well, happy birthday, Drina. I want to say happy birthday to you because I realize
birthday, Drina.
Anthony's disappointing you.
I'm sorry.
If he grabbed a guitar and played it, would that be okay? Just let us know, because I'm sure he can do that easier.
I don't know where my
I love
guitar
how he
is.
just
Oh,
went.
shut up, you liar.
It's in a different room, and I'd have to leave. And
I thought you were leaving your hair like that.
I just.
I could go get my kazoo.
Yes, she's fine with the guitar. So I'll tell you what, we'll give you a second to grab the guitar so you can play something nice for Drina. It's her birthday, and that's what we're here. We're here for these people, and Drina has always been there for us.
I know.
Anthony's
all
like,
right.
this is why I haven't been on here the
I
last couple
literally woke up 3 minutes ago. And Keith can attest to that. 'cause
It's
I woke up.
It's been at least 9 minutes.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
really good
9
at looking up
minutes
radio
ago.
songs.
All right.
Okay, he'll get it. He'll play something for you. That's fair. We'll give you a couple minutes on that. What else is going out in the chat? Anything you want to talk about? Anything that's been going on? Please. Oh, he left. He's still here listening, but he left the video. So we got that. Anything else in the news? Anything going on? I mean, like I said, it's been a really weird week because
Nothing.
everybody I know has been sick. I mean, obviously, there's things depressing-wise that I would go through, but we got our Wednesday show for that for sure. We'll go through that. Oh God, I didn't even work, so I can't talk about that. This is the most boring show, everybody. Sorry, you got on one of our boring ones because we have no idea what to talk about tonight.
Well, so the Rock's new movie, Black Adam, which is a Marvel movie, is coming out.
Right? Is the Rock
And
black?
Huh?
Is the
He
Rock
is half.
black?
He's Samoan, I
He's
thought.
half.
Maybe
He
he's
is-
something.
So
He's like a Mila
his
Kunis.
His father was Rocky, and he was a black man, and his mother is Hawaiian and Samoan,
Ah, well, that explains it.
from what I've caught. So I tried to look at it before because, so his tattoos and tats and stuff have to do with Hawaiian descent and stuff that he has on his arms and stuff, some of it and stuff. So, I mean, you have, I don't know how to politically correct, you know, he is a lighter skinned man, but I think he identifies as African American.
I actually didn't know even if he did that. I fortunately, I mean, there's no reason to technically know. He is who he is, but I just
Right.
never did know. Like I said, that's the same thing with Mila Kunis, which is very, very nice to look at,
The
regardless.
best stuff to watch. The best stuff to watch right now is called Playground Insults with Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart going at each other. I mean, it is hilarious. You go on YouTube, look up Playground Insults, and look for them, and it cracks you up. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities on there that are doing it, and it'll crack you up.
I gotcha.
And they're such good friends; they just say whatever they want. So,
Jane, you were so full of energy when you got here, and I asked you one question. You haven't responded. You got
No, I
to
was
tell
just
me.
looking at it. Opening weekend for Morbius, they grossed like 79,000 or 79 million. Sonic the Hedgehog's up to 150 million already.
Oh, that's right, because that came out.
That
Sonic
one
Oh,
is-
yeah.
got good ratings.
That one I actually want
I
to
want
see
to go
too.
see it. They brought out Knuckles. Come on.
I wanted to know you saw, was
love
Morbius
Knuckles.
worth it? Jane, I want to know if Morbius was worth it. Do you think it was, worthwhile? And then I was going to talk about it a little more. I think what you said, don't spoil it for us or anything. And you've been moving around. That's fair. Drina, you ready? Because I think Anthony's ready. Yep, she's ready. I'm not even going to wait for her to answer. She's ready. So here, we're going to give Anthony the panel here. All right, can you play something for her?
I don't know what to play.
You went blank for a minute and got things ready.
All I did was get a guitar out.
Oh, you have a guitar.
Oh, look at that. How wonderful.
She's ready.
I can't. I don't know. Does this sound okay?
Yeah, it sounds
Sounds
good.
beautiful.
I don't know what to play. I don't like getting put on the spot. I don't know what to do.
Please. Sing some Tennessee whiskey or something.
I don't know how to play Tennessee whiskey.
Well, play what you're playing.
Oh god.
I mean, for crying out loud, sing her happy birthday if you want.
I don't know how to play Happy Birthday.
Okay, I'm losing it here. How about Good Riddance, Green Day?
No, I just wanted to. I'm gonna.
It's all about you right now.
how about Unstoppable?
Okay. I gotta just remember if I know how to play this song.
All right.
Let's see how this goes. Forgive me if I sound like doo doo.
How does Zuzu sound? I thought it just smelled.
Depends how high you are when you take that dump.
Oh. Baby, 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 I'm coming home, girl, to your tender, sweet loving. You're my one and only woman. Oh God, I can't sing tonight. Oh fuck, I tried.
Okay.
That's not-
Well, it was something. I thought it sounded
Oh,
good.
God.
Something
You gave
fair
up on
enough.
yourself. What did you think, Trina? Was that good for you? Did you like that?
That was way too.
It was totally okay. It was totally okay. Drina says it was awesome, so thank you. Happy birthday, Drina.
Happy birthday. I'm sorry I wasn't fully prepared.
Okay.
By the way, Jane says
Anthony
she's
did what he does great.
seeing Morbius tonight. I am not stripping. All right, I know exactly where you're going with that. Okay. I appreciate that you said great. So I mean, but I can't. We're on a family, channel. YouTube is nothing but family friendly stuff, right?
But what's the rating on this?
PG.
Oh.
It's not an R1.
If you don't get fully naked,
Yeah, can we move on?
really that dirty?
Yes, when I do it, it's that dirty.
Let's do this a little bit.
This is getting weird, people. This is getting weird. Drina, they're trying to make me strip. I love you, but for your birthday, I'm going to keep my clothes on. That's how much I love you. All right. So you're seeing Morbius tonight. I will know later. More Marvel shit coming out. Too much Marvel shit coming out as far as I can see, to the point. Does anybody not care as much? I mean, everybody here likes the Marvel movies, right?
Marvel went out with a bang with that last Spider-Man. They're done.
That was definitely something to behold and be proud
okay,
of.
so when it comes to
I'm
Marvel,
looking forward to
I'm a DC
Multiverse
fan.
of Madness, though.
I love
very much.
Batman. I'm a Batman fan.
I did not like the Batman.
Unfortunately, I have to say, the Spider-Man had me way more excited. There was not one point in that Batman movie that, I was like, yes,
Jane just
I was
goes
so
so she gets
disappointed.
invited.
She-Hulk is coming out.
Are they doing the She-Hulk?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and I
Marvel
still don't
knows
know
how
who
to
the
do
She-Hulk
movies.
is.
That's a TV series, though.
Marvel
Well,
knows
the
how
only
to do
thing
movies.
is so Marvel Universe, you keep changing directors and writers and shit, and everything changes up, and it does. A lot of the time, it doesn't follow what it was. And the only reason I know this is because way back, I used to collect comic books, and I read the stories and stuff. And you watch this stuff that's coming into play. This is stuff that I watched when I was, that I read when I was young. And I'm 29 now, so I mean, it was just a couple years back, and it's not following everything that it should. Same way that they didn't produce the movies in the order that they should have, but they did what they did. So,
Well, yeah, they definitely did it in a different order, but even the comics have constantly changed up and down with the topics, or with the stories and stuff, and altered them and created new stories like that. And the movie just go over. Jane says she really liked the Batman, though. That's because, Jane, apparently you don't have great taste in movies. I'm sorry.
But Jane probably
just
liked
kidding.
Twilight, too. So.
Like I said, Twilight's the one that pissed me and my mom off.
Everyone I've talked to that's liked that movie was because they were a fan of Robert Pattinson.
Really, you think that's why?
I think
'Cause
that's why they liked it.
I'm not a fan of him, and I actually thought he did an okay job as Batman.
I have Batman comics everywhere.
But he was a horrible Bruce Wayne.
He was.
He was.
I mean, without spoiling the
Well,
movie for anybody,
have-
there was no difference in Batman and Bruce Wayne. He was the same character.
One of the big things about it is you got to find someone that has the build, the personality of being a playboy, and he's not a playboy.
Right, he wasn't.
quiet-
He looked like
he's
he looked like a scared goth child in this one.
Yeah.
It didn't fit. He looked
Man.
right. He looked like he was still a
He's
Twilight
sparkly
Man.
vampire.
And what Twilight's been like, 12, 15 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's been out for a long time, so it's time for him to move on a little bit. Jane says that she thought it was a good noir story, and I don't think it isn't, but sometimes, like with movies, not all movies need to be made. And for Batman, for being a movie hero universe, I think that it was a very poor direction to take it. Because it's not what people expect from a Batman film.
But-
I expect the unexpected is good. I understand
I feel
that.
like none of the
I
Batman
think
films...
I'm still a little sour that they never gave Affleck his own, because you didn't really get a full effect from the Batman of him. But if I showed Anthony the clip, like what they did with that Batman in the one fight scene in Batman versus Superman in the warehouse, it was straight out of a comic. It was everything you wanted out of a Batman.
Yeah.
Coming through the floor, using all this, it was great.
Well, the problem is, too...
I just wanted a movie with them.
I
and
feel like,
think I
though,
might be a little
after the Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy, like, that's a big...
That was the pinnacle.
Yeah, and it's so hard to live up to that because those three movies were such well done, and the actors did a phenomenal job. You can have bits and pieces that are just as good or arguably better, but as a whole, the Dark Knight trilogy was the pinnacle of Batman.
It was. And I mean, whether you like the 80s Batmans, the 80s, 90s Batmans, or the new ones or not, really for what Batman stood for and what they did to that character in the Dark Knight trilogy was the best they ever could have done.
What kills it for me is DC kills it with these animated movies. I love them. I got
DC
them all.
has got it with
DC's
animation
animated movies are awesome.
and
TV shows.
television.
Television is
Television,
they've got a
yes.
lot of good television.
They got a lot of good
Yeah.
shows, and
Because
when
they're
it
not
comes the
afraid to go
movies,
dark.
They get that extra money, and they're just like, "Oh, let's just throw it everywhere."
That's because the movies
let's
try to go
make
to
it-
that dark path, but try to keep it family related, which they can't do.
Well, and
And that's where they
the-
shine in
Hello,
TV shows.
Deadpool's killing it with rated R. Let's do it.
Yeah, but they have one character. DC tries to take their whole universe and turn it into that dark type path.
Right.
Well, and
Well,
when
they do it with
when
the
you're doing
PG-13.
like the dark storylines, you almost need to have a TV series so you
Yes.
can build up to it. To try to cram all of that darkness and depth into a movie is a little difficult.
Well, with what's allowed too on TV now, or series now in general, because of the streaming platforms, you can do almost everything you can do for a movie, but expand it. Whereas if you used to have a TV show on before, again, you had to keep it family friendly. You had to go through this. You don't have to do that anymore. You can do everything you could do in a movie rated R, and actually your ratings are less strict.
Well, they got this like they're coming out. I don't know. You guys big on like books in general, like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, any of that? The Olympians? Okay.
Sounds
So they
familiar.
did the movies, right? And they were horrible because there was so much missing. The Harry Potter books were the same thing. You watched the movie, which back when those came out, I didn't read. But I went back, I read the book, and it's like there's so much missing because you can only jam so much into, what, 2 hours?
2-3
whatever you
hours.
get.
Yeah.
Now we're into this whole TV series. Books are amazing for TV series
Yes.
because you can do an episode a chapter. You can do two episodes, per chapter if you had to.
Well, look at
You
Game
don't
of
have to
Thrones.
condense it down into 2
Yeah.
hours. Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Game
The
of Thrones
problem,
is a perfect
though-
example because they made.
is.
I mean, granted, the last seasons fell apart, but
the problem with like Game of Thrones and doing that, and this is the fear of doing series, is they can order new seasons. And when you want to tell a story that needs 1 or 2 seasons to tell, and then you're ordered to do a new one, you have to start making shit up. You don't have the
Well, and
material to do
I
this
think
anymore.
that's what happened with Game of Thrones, right? They were
Right,
doing the
same
movies
thing.
before the books.
They went ahead of the books.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the last book came out amazing because he knew what route not to go.
Yeah, that definitely helped. Okay, I'm not doing that.
They
Jane
didn't
says,
like that. Let's go this way. Which they did it with the books. From what I understand, the TV series did have a different direction. You couldn't read the book and follow the TV series. Right?
Yeah, well, that's-
I was told he went a different direction with the books after he started coming out after the series.
right, because you try to compete with both. And Jane says, I think the issue that exists in everyone has too many rules. It's nothing unexpected, but it's a new interpretation of this type of Batman. Going back to the Batman film, the writing is tight, and I think people always feel like Batman needs or cannot do these certain characteristics. I don't think that's the case. I think one of the things, like Jane, you've seen this movie, and it reminds you of the noir style of like the old films, and it reminds you of that comic book feel, because this movie is based on you knowing that comic book, and that is what a lot of these films are trying to do. Dark Knight required you to know nothing about Batman, even though we all did. It required nothing. Or the Joker, because they reinvented the characters anyway. The 89 Batman really didn't require much except for we better have Batman and Joker in this film, because they were the two most popular. And then they developed the story around that. These other movies are relying on you knowing that previous material. Or Game of Thrones knowing those books initially, or any of these shows that come out. And that's where they're throwing people off. Like, people don't want to read that. That's where I think the latest Star Wars, the last Star Wars, fucked up the biggest that it did because it was fan service to people who knew alternate universes and TV shows and all this other shit that people who were a fan of the movie franchise wanted to see a Star Wars movie. If they want that book franchise, they'll read those books. And I think that's where they're losing it. And they modeled it like we're bringing Batman to dark roots. Well, for a lot of people, bringing Batman back to the dark roots is bringing back the Christopher Nolan Batmans, the Dark Knight trilogy. And you did. They told the exact same story, but failed to actually end that story, which Dark Knight did. My argument on that.
I haven't seen the Batman movie yet. It's one that I plan on seeing, but I wasn't impressed with the trailers. So it's one that I didn't feel like paying for, and I'll wait until...
And it's 3 hours.
Yeah,
I
stream
didn't
it.
realize how long it was when I went there.
It is, and it's way too long because don't forget a movie has to be a movie. You are, no matter what, when you're making a movie, you're catering to movie-going audiences. When you're writing a comic book, you're catering to comic book audiences. When you're writing a novel, you're catering to novel audiences. When you're doing a series, you're catering to TV binge watchers. Give them what
And
they
that's what
expect
a lot
for
of
that
the nerds
genre.
had a problem with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have like so Marvel Universe. You have the Fantastic Four. The movies suck.
Oh,
But they have so much more they could have went into if the movies would have been good. The people would have watched it and went into. I mean, one of the greatest comic books that there was the Fantastic Four versus the Submariner. And
Yes.
if they could have put that on the screen, it would have been great. But
We got
the
some-
movies suck for the Fantastic Four. So
Really good conversation popping in here, so I'm gonna go through a few of these really quickly, but I'm gonna stop on the ones that make a lot. Jane, first of all, says she argues the film was elevated in how they decided to depict it, which I get that, but that's not what the core audience was going to see. You were, because you're a fan of that stuff, and being a filmmaker as you are, Jane, I understand that you got a much larger appreciation for that than some of us do. But I went to see Batman. The Batman I've seen in every film iteration that has changed multiple times. That was an exciting film. And the trailer even tried to kind of make it seem more action-like. Disagree with Anthony. I don't remember what he was talking about that you disagree with, Jane, on there. I saw that come up. I still didn't know. Difficult, possible, and has been done. And I'm scared that we as a filming, consuming community everyone never wants something to end until it's too late. As far as like the show's ending and going too far, probably. Or certain movie series. That's true, and that's where DC fucks up its movies too. This is, for my personal opinion, if you guys, your opinions on it too, but with DC, they fuck something up, they start from scratch again. Every fucking time. Marvel didn't. Marvel has good Iron Mans and bad Iron Mans. It has the Incredible Hulk, which was not all that great. It had good Captain
Edward
Americas. Yeah. Comparatively to a lot of their universe.
Yeah.
You know. Good Captain America, bad Captain America. But they didn't suddenly reboot that whole character because of that franchise. They made the franchise better by integrating it into their Avengers universe. That you can easily forgive. Go ahead,
And
Bill.
forget.
Yeah,
how
and you
many
do.
superheroes in the Marvel universe? How many superheroes do you have? And then in the DC universe, how many superheroes do you have that you can make a movie about? That's a big problem with the whole situation too. Is DC is not digging into all the actual superheroes they have. If they went to the what was it, the Legion of Heroes, whatever it was that DC had, they could go into the other superheroes and make other movies about stuff instead of just Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder
Well,
Woman.
they can. That's the thing with DC. Also, they seem to be afraid to do that somewhat, where Marvel wasn't. Nobody gave a shit about Ant-Man. You know, nobody was like waiting for Ant-Man to come out.
It came out. That one came out really good though. I really
Nobody
enjoyed
knew
that.
who the fuck Guardians of the Galaxy were.
No,
when they
I
came
didn't.
out.
I had
Ant-Man-
no idea.
Ant-Man and Wasp wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but they ended up being a character in Endgame,
Right. That's why I
and
said
it ended
they,
up being something good.
whether they do a good job or a bad job, and they brought in characters that, yeah, nobody expected, and they made good movies out of them. So you don't really need the large plethora of great characters to do it, and DC doesn't get that. They're like, people see DC, they want to see Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash. And Aquaman nobody really cared about, but apparently he was good too. So, but they don't try to pull them out. But DC has things like Teen Titans, and when they put that stuff into a TV series,
That was awesome.
they know what the fuck to do.
Titans
oh my
was
God.
a great
Titans
series.
was
Yes.
Great.
All right, now to get some of the deeper stuff here. First of all, before we do, Drina asked, "Who's your favorite Batman?" There's a lot of argument on this. I have to say Christian Bale. I think he embodied it best. I think that the first one, I can't even think of his name now. All of a sudden, ugh.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Thank you. I think he did the best job bringing it to screen. But overall, I think that Bale captured what everyone saw in Batman, whether they were a fan of the action Batman or the rich Bruce Wayne or anything like that. I think he did the best. That's my personal. What about you?
I agree with that. I think he captured both personas of Batman and Bruce Wayne very well.
I agree. What about you, Bill?
I think the best Batman was 1989 Bill McClane at a Halloween party. You had to be there, but yeah, it was great.
I miss
Sounds
that one.
like a really good Batman.
It does. What about you, Scott?
Michael Keaton is always going to be my Batman.
That's fair.
He brought it to the screen. The first movie I ever saw was Batman Returns.
I get that. That's what I was referring to on that.
I feel Affleck had it. I feel if they would have just gave it,
If they wouldn't have done Justice League with Affleck,
you gave him,
they could have probably pulled that off.
You gave a guy that could play the darker version of a Batman, that loved Batman himself. He's a collector. I mean, if you've ever seen him and Kevin Smith do things, like this dude has a Batcave, and it's perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had so much passion for this role, and they just didn't give him the big enough.
But
chance.
taking away from the actor portraying
So
him, I didn't like everything they
taking
did with
away,
the character.
No, taking away from what the writers did with it, and no, he so
Well,
I stick
you know
with
what?
Keaton. I didn't like Christian
He was
Bale.
on TV.
I hated the way he did his voice change. That bugged the shit out of me.
And I actually I did like that part. That's one I did like.
I hated it.
What were you saying, Bill?
He was always someone's best friend when he was on TV. Anytime he showed anything, and he did Daredevil, and it went. So
Right. Well, by the same, and kind of agreeing with Scott in a way, not with the Batman character, but with the Joker, I do feel Jack Nicholson was the best embodiment of Joker.
Jack Nicholson
He was.
was the best Joker
Yes.
gangster.
Now, I don't think Jack Nicholson could have pulled off the type of Joker in The Dark Knight.
No, because that Heath Ledger
That was
the
an
best
entirely
psycho
different one.
Joker.
Yeah, and for that kind of movie, obviously Heath Ledger takes the cake.
Yeah.
But for the embodiment of what the Joker was, I do think Jack Nicholson pulled it off best. Way better than.
And if you don't-
Jared Leto.
if you don't follow the comics, all right, and just look at the character, the guy that played the Joker in Suicide Squad, I loved him.
Kevin
He was great.
Conroy, how you doing, Thrasher?
Leto.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Kevin.
He was
Conroy.
just great.
That
I
Snyder
wish
cut,
I wish they would have
I wish they
expanded
would-
on that.
Like the Snyder cut.
Right.
Did you watch the Snyder cut?
I saw the first part and the last part.
Okay, Justice League Snyder cut. Watch that. They add a little bit more to that Jared Leto Joker, and I wasn't a fan of the Joker they used in Suicide Squad, but same character. They went a different route, and I
The
think-
end of the Snyder cut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very good. And that's what I mean. Like, that's what DC has to learn to do more of. Okay, you fucked up. Don't eliminate and try to start fresh again. People go to see any Marvel movie because they know that fucking universe.
Yep.
They know who, they know how, they know backstory. They don't need books to do it. They don't need comics to do it. The movies fleshed it out. You reboot on DC's side, people know nothing again. They walk in blind. At least they didn't get to see his parents get killed again, but still. Jane says, I feel like this is something new. We learned the Penguin, we learned the Riddler, we learned Catwoman. I don't think you need Batman knowledge for this film at all. I think the issue with the film warrants a second viewing. Yeah, it probably does, but not by me. I will say that
once again, I'm a Batman fan. When I can put it on my TV with a clear picture, I'll watch it again. But
for those that haven't, who have seen it, the character of the Penguin, I think they did a fantastic job. I think he was probably
they're
my
doing a
favorite
spin-off
character.
on him.
in that
So-
film, and that I'm looking forward to.
Yes,
the
I'm
Riddler
looking forward to
was
the
destroyed.
Penguin.
They tried to make the Riddler a cross between Joker and Scarecrow, which I thought was wrong. Catwoman was just a copy of Halle Berry. Honestly, that's what I got from
see
that.
I can see that.
In a better version of it, but it reminded me of Halle
In
Berry.
that-
Not because
in
of
that
color,
movie,
even the whole
Penguin-
outfit and her.
Penguin took
Yes.
it in this movie.
Yes. Penguin was fantastic. I can't remember who played it. Doesn't even look like him though. Very famous. And I just
Chris Farrell,
yeah, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. There you go.
Yeah, and it doesn't look at all like him.
No.
Okay, we got a better one coming up. I will have to sit and actually talk about it in person sometime. I don't mind hearing people wrong. Drina says, would you watch an African American actor playing Batman like they're trying to do for James Bond? Just asking, does race matter? I'm going to say, yes, it matters. And I'm not going to say it to be racist. I just think you have a character already. And when you can't apply the reverse logic, then you should stick with the character you have.
We have characters that have their own. I mean, keep the race the way it is. There's no reason to switch that.
I just feel like
I
the
mean,
backstory of Batman,
like the Green Lantern. Good.
the backstory of Batman would make it difficult to portray Batman as an African American. Because back in the time, he came from a very wealthy family in the time where it wasn't very common for an African American family to have that kind of wealth and status, right? If they were to reboot it to now and kind of have that same thing now, I think they could pull it off, and I wouldn't have a problem with that personally. But I feel like if you're trying to stick to Batman the way that everyone knows Batman, it's a little difficult with the backstory of Batman.
Well, I agree. Lana says, "Who is Kevin Conroy?" Oh, I know that name, but I don't recall him as Batman.
Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman
Oh!
animated series Batman.
He was
So
okay.
if we were going off of that's
Okay, I agree with that. That
You hear
100%,
that voice,
Atlanta.
You know who he is.
I know that name, but I'm not picturing the Batman. Oh my God, you're right. The animated series.
But we were talking about movies.
No, but that makes sense. Well, she asked who the favorite Batman was, so that was fair. We could have said Adam West for that matter.
I guess I didn't.
Who was definitely the corniest.
So if we're going for Jokers, then we know Mark Hamlin's the best Joker. Then.
Vocal wise, yeah, for sure. Mark Hamill is definitely.
But if you go back into it through the comic books and stuff like that, right, and go the other way, right? If
Thank you,
Storm,
Elena. Good to see you.
Black Panther, Falcon would have not have been African American, it wouldn't have been the same. You wouldn't look at it the same because you knew it that way in the comic books.
Yeah, you can't. That's what I mean. If you can't reverse it sometimes, like if you can't have a white person play Black Panther.
Well, they have like Batwing, right? This is
Well, now.
Well, no.
No, the Black Panther. Sorry.
Batwing is basically Fox's son that took over, and he got the bat suit, and he joins in with Batwoman in a different series, like the Bat Family. He's like an addition. He's a black guy. You know, he plays the part. If you've ever read the comics, it works. He don't have the money, but his dad was really great at the technology part, so he had all that knowledge to follow through.
Let's go back to this one thing she asked in here too. We'll get back to the comic books in a second because we have more comments. But she also asked what they're trying to do for James Bond, which at the end of the last one, Black Woman is what they're trying to make James Bond, and now I guess it's just Black Man. It might still be a Black Woman. I'm not sure.
If they're going to have a black man play James Bond, it has to be Idris Elba, or I'm not having it.
That would be awesome.
If it's Idris Elba, I'm perfectly fine with it, because that man would make an amazing James Bond.
But they switched James Bond so much. I mean, like, I don't know.
It depends.
I stopped watching James Bond after, like, I've never even seen 007 Royale, or whichever one that was. That guy.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig. I've never seen any of them past that. So.
Well, that was the last one.
Okay.
It was Daniel Craig still.
I've never seen
And
any of his.
the end of it was leading to a black woman being the next Bond, and they're saying either a black woman or a black man's going to be the next Bond. That's what they're trying to do. And the problem is, when you just replace them for the sake of replacing them, you have a problem. The Batman, for example, if it was Batman being played by a black character, a black Batman is technically fine. They did it with Catwoman, and it worked the way they pulled it off. Might not have been a great movie, but they pulled it off fine. Race didn't matter. But with Batman, you're looking at a story that takes place in the early 1900s most of the time, with the two most powerful people, which would now have to be a black family, which would not have existed, the same way in this era, in this time when they were written, for Batman to be born this black child that everybody looks up to. It wouldn't have fit without changing the story. Now, to take it a different route, if you go back to, I think, 2014, which this movie got a flack, they remade Annie, and there was a lot of flack because they used a black girl in the role of Annie, who was a white, redheaded orphan. But when they released the movie, they redid the entire thing to make it make sense, and if you watch the movie
Made it more modern.
it totally worked in every way, because you didn't try to set it back in this time period where this wouldn't have made sense. And I'm glad we came so far, but us that know history know that it pulls you from the reality of it. So I think it depends what you do with it, but just don't replace them for the sake of replacing these characters. Any other opinions?
Just so you know, before we go anywhere, on the original Batman series, the original Catwoman was Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt, yes. But they took it from Michelle Pfeiffer movie-wise, which is what I was referring to, and they pulled it off, and they also changed it from the actual comics. And Eartha Kitt was a phenomenal Catwoman. I loved her. If you definitely go back to the series. Jane says, I think race matters on particular characters. Many characters are made with the idea of race in mind. I wouldn't mind a black Batman because I feel as though Batman has principles to follow, but not race. And I agree. I just think you got to write your story to make it something that people are engaged into this character
have to change
properly.
the story so it's not set in the time frame that everyone knows Batman to be set in.
Like in the new one, some of the casting choices I think they made to become a more diverse film were done just because let's do this to be diverse. Let's not do this because this is the person that belongs in the story.
Yeah.
That's where I think they hurt characters, because then people see that, and it ruins the idea of having a person of a different color probably play that character.
Well, and it's counterproductive if it's not done the right way. If it's done solely to just say, "Look at us, we're being diverse," chances are it's not going to turn out as a good movie because they're focused more on what they look like than the actual character.
Yes,
And they won't make the backstory work to where everyone will see it as, yes, this is the character, cool, right?
so much so with what Bill was saying, so much so that it didn't actually click in my head Eartha Kitt playing Batman or playing Catwoman in the original Batman, because when she did, she fit. It was fine. It never bothered me to think of Halle Berry, and actually, like I said, this new one I reflected to be Halle Berry as Catwoman, because to me that worked. They did it properly, but
So,
that was not a Jim Gordon.
I just had an image in my head. Can you guys imagine like a remake of Adam West Batman, played by a Tropic Thunder Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh, Jesus.
It needs to happen. Jane, make it
Come
happen.
on.
DC has been showing new characters just with improper planning. Don't act like everyone knew Black Adam. Right. Okay, I agree with that too. And the planning is
Black
the
Adam.
biggest thing.
I was going to bring up Black Adam earlier when we were talking about DC wasn't expanding on their unknown characters, because that was one guy that people know Shazam.
Right.
Black Adam's the villain there. I'm interested in how they do that one. Using The
that's-
Rock,
Black-
they're going to get a lot of people coming in because everyone loves that guy. So
They're going to go see Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but I tell you what, if you read into it and you have to find it and dig, Kevin Hart's one to push this and made Dwayne The Rock Johnson go for Black Adam. I mean, they're best friends or whatever, I guess. So, but the whole thing you have to look about, and it always comes down to this, is more people are going to go see the movies if they're following the comic book scenario, because that's what they've read and that's what they've seen and that's what they've read about. So.
Okay, we're going to definitely go down because now people are arguing with me. Yay. first, back to Atlanta, said that Kevin Conroy has played Batman more than anyone else, which is true in the animated movie. Mask of the Phantom was in theaters, and I remember seeing that one too. So yeah, you're right. It's still movies too. Yeah. But I just wasn't thinking along the lines of voiceovers when you said that. It says, no way Idris Elba would be awesome.
Like, you can't go wrong there.
He would be an awesome villain as well, but I still think he would make a damn good fucking James Bond.
I think he probably would be. I can definitely see that. He's got that. If they did him right, he'd have that suave nature completely to just. Oh yeah, he could definitely pull that off, and I would be all for that too.
Oh hell yeah! Like I said, personally, if it's not him, I don't want it.
And his walk for sure. Thrasher says, "Forget Black Batman, beat CW up and do Black Lightning better. Beat CW up and do Black Lightning better." I agree. Black Lightning definitely needs to be done better.
I was very disappointed with how they did that.
Elena says, Keith, it's a factional movie. Why does it matter if there's a powerful black family in the early 1900s? It's fake either way. It could be really beneficial for young black kids to see. Yes, it could, so rewrite your story to make it legit fitting. Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong to have the black family or anything like that, but not the way... Like, even Jane was saying that that it relates so much to the comics, and it was very noir, and that's important. You know, that's what people know. That's what people relate to. That's how they do it. You have to create a new story, not just replace the character in an existing story, and try to fit them in a story that already existed. It's not right, and it would not work the other way either.
Well, they did it with the Spider-Man, right? That Spider-Verse, the animated
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, and that was awesome.
Right. It worked. They made the story around him.
Yep, and they even referenced him in the new Spider-Man. Well, Jamie Foxx did.
That's the biggest thing. It's not that you can't have a powerful black family in the early 1900s because it's fake. Everyone knows it's fake. But if you're going to do something like this, do it right. Like, make the story more current, so that people can relate to it even better. Then, so don't if you're going to make a Batman black, then put it in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Bring it to now instead of trying to go back and keep using the same roots.
Yeah. Right. It's not about necessarily, changing it for like you said. You've got to modernize it and change it because you want to eliminate these kind of arguments. If you don't modernize it, you're still going to have these arguments for people that this wouldn't work in this time. It doesn't fit. But if you do, like Anthony says, rewrite that story and make it modern in a way that makes perfect sense, then by all means have it. And you're right. A lot of people would look up to that, and kids deserve to look up. Young black kids need to see that. Yeah.
Because at a core, Batman is like Jane said, Batman is the character's more values than race. It's the morals. Yes. It's who the character is. It doesn't matter what kind of person Batman looks like, but you just have to keep in mind the backstory and make it fit the character you're choosing to play.
Yes. And that's what's important. If you just throw them in, no, because you feel like they're just throwing this actor in. And they.
Okay, so here's a good example of throwing a character in. So the Batwoman TV series they were doing.
Okay.
I'm not crazy about Ruby Rose in general, like her as an actor, but she played that character real well. Season 1 went through. I was like, all right, cool. I'm excited to see what they do with season 2. Well, Ruby Rose backed off. The ratings on that show dropped with them because they just randomly like, all right, we're going to use this black Batwoman now, and we're going to just replace her. Didn't change much up, just added. It didn't work.
It dropped ratings. It dropped ratings because she stepped out, and she stepped out because of the fact of her personal situation and everything like that. And they didn't deal with her and give her the money that she needed, and that's why she stepped away from it. So,
which is fair, and I understand that from her point of view. But he's also right about that's what to the audience watching that show. You just swapped out your character. Yeah. Thrasher says, I would watch a black Batman, though. I just think what's wrong with Falcon just taking the lead as Falcon. or give him a new name like American Eagle. Why hand him some white dude's title, especially when they kick butt with who they are? 100%. I agree 100% with that, and I would see it too. Regardless, I would never dismiss a film like I'm not going to watch it because they shouldn't have a black character playing this role. But you still...
And it's not always who you're going to have act it. It's how they're writing it, producing it, and directing it. Luke Cage, Power Man. All right? He was one of my favorite comics when I was growing up. They had a series on him. I don't know if it's still on or not. It was written so crappy
Yeah.
that
Luke
no
Cage
one
was
was
not.
watching it.
That whole group I
Jessica
thought kind of
Jones.
lacked.
Daredevil.
Daredevil was
Okay,
great,
so
but
Daredevil
Daredevil
was-
was the start of it.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
did so good,
Daredevil
they
did
said,
it.
let's build on it. But they didn't do the writing for the other characters.
The Punisher came out really, really good. I
was
really
happy
liked
with that one as well, yes.
But Jessica Jones,
The first season I liked.
I like
I
the
did.
first season of Jessica
the first
Jones.
season wasn't horrible. But Luke Cage, and then what was that?
Iron Fist or whatever.
Iron
Yeah.
Fist. Those, they were lacking.
Because they too, like I said, Marvel. I don't think Marvel has in the TV department. They have some very good TV shows,
They're
but I
trying
think
to get
Marvel
there
tries
now.
to throw way too much at you instead of trying, and they're ruining their own timelines by doing it.
Well, from what I understand, Disney Plus is revamping all of them. I
And
don't know what they're doing with it, but I know Daredevil's the start, and that I'm horrible with actors' names, but the guy that played the Daredevil in the Netflix series is
he
going
did
to
great.
reprise his role.
Yeah, and he was on. Well,
Obviously,
he
He
did
was
in
in
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Thrasher says, "I'm a Stark playing away in disguise as another bat." Reading it back to Idris Elba, she says no to Bond, but as a villain,
We
I
can
do
agree
think
to
he would pull it
disagree.
off. Yeah, I think he could, but I get your thing. Thrasher says, "I remember when they were talking about making Clark Kent black. I saw a lot of black YouTubers get very upset because it doesn't make sense. Truth, justice, the American way wouldn't be the same for a black male as a white male." That's an interesting take on it.
Well, and that, yeah.
And that actually does make a lot of sense. And again, that's about going with the origins we already know. So you have to create something new to do it. And you just can't do it with the current origins we're running with.
Yeah, 'cause
they
the
kind of did it
story-
with Lex Luthor in the series.
technically they did do it with Superman. They went with Steel. I mean, they used a horrible person, but Shaquille O'Neal did play a Superman version.
Well, they did in the series, the Lois and or Superman and Lois.
I love that.
That's an absolutely great series. And I will be honest with you, when I saw Black Lex Luthor on screen, and it's not racist, I'm like, what are they trying to do? Shoehorn. And I actually thought he did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time they finished up that story, I'm like, this was the right choice. And I was wrong for passing a judgment the way I did immediately. Because I was seeing again, because now too many times for me, it looks like you don't care about the characters, you care about the color and the diversity.
Yeah. And like I said, it does a disservice when you focus more
Yes.
on what the person looks like than actually portraying the character in a way that is good.
Yeah. They handed that with Falcon and Winter Soldier, which, yes. Black Kingpin worked, absolutely, even though that movie was crap, but it absolutely did. Elena says Ruby Rose is an absolute goddess. Twice she says that. Sweet Christmas from Atlanta. And Atlanta's got a man crush on Luke Cage, too. That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, yeah.
No, they picked characters were great.
The casting was awesome
The casting was
for that
great.
group of people.
It was.
But just the writers did a shit fucking job. Pardon my language.
It was awful.
I absolutely agree. It's perfectly
Have
fine
you guys
to
seen?
Black
Have you guys
Kryptonian.
seen Shang-Chi?
Which one? Oh, Shang-Chi?
the new one.
Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I
Yeah.
liked it.
I thought it was pretty good. I didn't
Okay.
expect to like it just because it wasn't really anything I knew about that much.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I know everyone
Think
keeps
ab-
telling me
think
to
about
watch
this.
it. I
Think about
I
this.
just haven't found.
Minus the
time to
end.
sit down.
some of the biggest movies that were on in years late were the Terminator movies, right? They were some of the biggest movies ever. Marvel had a chance to do Deathlock, the Demolisher, instead of Shang-Chi, but they had no one that wanted to write it.
Kiftel, there is a link to the panel if you want to join our panel at any time you can by going to earshouldervoice.com/join. And you can actually join in the panel if you'd like to. earshouldervoice.com/join, as you see in the bottom left of your screen or the top right. And you can join the panel and talk with us as well. There was a perfectly fine Black Kryptonian who could take the lead of his own movie, as Thrasher was saying. Yeah, like I said.
That's my brother's specialty. I don't know a whole lot about Superman. I'm not crazy about him, so.
But
Well,
yeah,
it's
but
just- back to that, because like
I don't-
I've heard that argument, and I've heard a couple people talk about it, and it's if you put a black person in the U.S. as an alien in that time, Superman's going to turn out with a very different view on America,
yes.
So,
right?
I mean,
and
what-
it's another one that you could do it, but you would have to rewrite the story to put it to where it works.
but we
if
kind
you
of do
stick-
have one. Martian the Manhunter.
And that's fine. And that
Martian-
works.
Martian.
Yeah.
But what does Martian have to do?
He's a black alien. I mean,
Yeah, but
that
he's
he
already
took
in
that
disguise.
every approach.
Yeah.
His black is a disguise.
Yeah.
I thought he was green.
He is, but
Yeah,
his
his
character...
His true form's green.
Yeah, but the disguise character is... Which is totally... I mean, that's
There's
fine,
nothing
too.
wrong with it. It's a
But you're
great
also... The shows he's on is Martian Manhunter, and I guess he's got his own series. It's not out yet, is it?
I haven't.
Either movie or series I think he's got coming out as well. And it's set in a world that works.
Yeah.
Because
you
they
know.
had him in that Supergirl series. Dude, that's creepy as hell. Turn your lights back on.
John Jones. Clark Kent. John Jones, Clark Kent. I gotta look this.
That's why I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I am too. Mixed martial artist. Holy shit.
That's I can't.
That's who I thought it was. I thought I'd heard that name before. Okay. Okay, he's not going to really look that mild-mannered, I think. John Jones. Or John Jones still. It could work. Like I say, I think the biggest problem we always have with things is just not doing the story around and shoehorning them. You know, and just, we need to make this character. We need to be diverse. If nobody's going to like our movie, I'm sorry. There are movies with all white people. There's movies with all black people. And it's a hard argument to have because it doesn't work in reverse. And nobody is even... They are too scared to even attempt it to prove it doesn't work in reverse. They are not suddenly replacing Lando Calrissian with a white guy. They're not suddenly replacing,
Shaft.
Shaft with a white guy, or the one we were just talking about. If they did Black Panther now, or something like that.
Okay.
If they do, you'll see exactly why shoehorning him in is wrong, because they'd also be destroying the character that other people believe in. And it would be
And you
wrong
won't
in
get
that
many
direction as
people
well.
to go see a movie. Yeah.
Right. Because that's the character they like. Novarine says Shaq isn't a white guy. I think he is. No, he's...
Just to flip the switch for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
The newest prequel of Harry Potter just came out, or just
Yes.
coming out this weekend, I think. What is it called? I can't remember.
It's not the
Secrets of
crimes.
Dumbledore or something.
It's not the crime. Secrets of Grindelwald, Crimes of Dumbledore, Gryffindor. I don't know what the new one is.
It's something Grindel.
Something with Dumbledore.
Yeah,
It
is it the Secrets of
something with
Dumbledore?
this one.
It's the Secrets of Dumbledore.
It is Secrets of Dumbledore.
Obviously, I can see that you guys all go and watch those stuff, so yeah.
Nick Cage took his name from Luke Cage, so he's a white Cage.
So I get my TV off the antenna, and I pick up from Mount Clemens and Ohio in 1958. I watched Captain America, black and
Yeah.
white, and it's it's great. I love to watch it just because it's different. It's like the second best thing to watching the old Marvel comics that used to come on Saturday mornings that I used to watch. And I still know all the theme songs to Thor, Hulk, Captain America, and everything like that, watching those cartoons way back then. So,
Yeah. And I mean, I want to say when we talk about this, when we're talking about the casting, there is something to be said legitimately about a lot of these old series that, yes, everybody was white and not everybody had to be or should be. And it was wrong the way they shot a lot of that. But you're not talking about replacing a dynamic cast when you're talking about just replacing a iconic character. And there's a difference there. And there should have been more diversity in past productions of everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
But the reason there wasn't is the main argument, right or wrong, those were the times.
Well, and most people don't have an argument about putting a different person as the character. It's just, if you're going to do it the right way. Give
Respect.
that character justice as whoever you're having portray it.
The story, the actor, the character, all of it, respect it. You know, change it, don't override it, don't make it different, don't, you know.
Because it ultimately, it does a disservice. Because most people are going to just say, yeah, well, fuck Batman now because they just tried to shoehorn a different person in there to be different and that, and it didn't turn out good. But if they do it right, then everyone's going to say, dude, this new Batman's awesome.
And let's be fair, for anybody that thinks it's about race, we're talking particularly about, a black person playing these characters because that's what Drina brought up to us. But our initial starting conversation was that one of the things was DC constantly replaces white characters with white characters, and it doesn't make sense to replace these characters. No. Even white characters with white characters, because you do it wrong, you don't pay attention, you don't redo the story to fit. Like, Dark Knight, like you were originally saying, did a great job, and everything, but then they tried to change all that. They added the new character and kind of forgot about Dark Knight, but let's try to keep the tone, but let's also make it really supernatural. Heroic and all this other stuff.
And that's the big problem with Batman, though. It's all trilogies. Like, they did try to change character to character in the trilogy when they were doing the Batman, and then, what was that? Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
They swapped characters thinking, hey, let's do it this way. That was a bad mistake. They went to Christian Bale, did their trilogy, and that's it. That's all they want to do with Batman is trilogies, and I don't, expand it. I mean, how long was Iron Man or Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man? 12 years? Something like that? I mean...
Oh, longer than that. I mean...
Yeah, I can't. It's
yeah, it was long. 2002 or something, I think that... Wasn't it?
Find someone that
2003
fits.
that Iron Man came
out?
If
you have a screw up, oh well, try again.
2008.
2008. So I guess, I guess you're right about that.
Last thing I'm going to say is because... You have to think about this. So it's not just the superhero movies. It's a lot of movies. You can't change the characters from black to African American. I mean, from white to African American, because it won't work. I mean, just think about in one of my favorite movies, all of them, if Medea was white.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about. If we swap these out... The thing is, no director, no casting person, nobody at this time and place is ever going to replace a black character with a white one. Because they know the kind of flack that everybody will get for it. But the thing is, by doing so, maybe you can prove kind of to the other side where the argument comes from. And what others are arguing about it. The biggest problem people have, it's not, as Thrasher was saying about his black friends who had a problem with certain things because they wouldn't see it the same way. It's not that black people usually have a problem. It's other people who think we should have a problem. It's saying that it's wrong. Like, directors are scared to replace black people with white characters because they are told how wrong it's going to be, and vice versa. But the thing is, make your movie, but make it, read
Just make a good movie.
Yes. Yeah. You will never be faulted for making a good movie.
Yeah. If it's a shit movie, then it's a shit movie, no matter who you have playing it.
Right.
Make a good movie.
I have a question for you guys. And anyone out there, I have a question for you guys. So, Spawn, right?
Okay.
So, in the comic books, was Spawn a white guy when he turned into Spawn, or was he African American? Do you guys know?
I actually
don't know.
I don't know either.
I never read any of the comics.
That one I don't know. It says they can thank Daredevil for the Dark Knight. Thrasher says, good old Frank Miller. I didn't know Daredevil was responsible for the Dark Knight in that one. I'm curious on what way you meant. Go ahead. You were still saying, Bill. I just wanted to get that out there. I got two more from him in a minute.
No, I don't know, but Michael Jai White did a great job at Spawn.
Yeah.
Part of it is his deep voice when he talks, and stuff, which I think that he would make a good James Bond, even though he's kind of short and muscular, but yeah.
It's everything you do. It just doesn't work, and you destroy characters. Like if we go, they're remaking Little Shop of Horrors. It's an old movie. I don't know who's seen Little Shop of Horrors. Stage play, and the voice of the plant in Little Shop of Horrors was Levi Stubbs of the Four Tops. Black guy, good burly voice, sounded great. And the new one cast to play it is still a black guy, but it's the one from the what is that show now? I can't remember the name of the show. He's a black guy, he's a gay black guy. Pose, I think it is. The show Pose, and he's a very feminine black guy who doesn't have that voice. And changing the character to be something like that is destroying your character, and that one of the plant. And that's where people object. You're not replacing him with somebody equally that they're used to with the kind of voice, the depth, because the depth of that voice had a lot to do with that character. Just like he was saying with the animated Batman series. And Mark Hamill
That's why I
was the
said
Joker.
it should have been what's his name that did Darth Vader's voice. So
James Earl Jones, yes.
yeah,
But if you at least are trying to go
It
with
would've
that
been great.
thing, you'll be fine. But when you want to totally rip it apart and change it, I guess I'll take a little Hayden Christensen. But if you had Hayden Christensen doing Darth Vader's voice, even though it's the same character, technically the same character, it doesn't work. Because you're taking away something we already know and love. And that voice
Right.
that Darth Vader has defines the character of Darth Vader. Because all we see is a suit. So keep it in good. Thrasher says on Friday I watched Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fucking great movie, actually. I liked it a lot. It was really good. I did too. I watched. They have another one where the Turtles do a crossover of all the different Turtles, the comic book Turtles, the 1985 Turtles, the 2002 Turtles, and it's a really good one as well. I fucking love that movie. Oh my god, you're so right. The social justice warriors who aren't even directly affected would be so upset if they swapped out certain characters, certain colors, and it wouldn't even be the ones that they're actually insulting. And people were afraid to do it.
Looking here, it looks like Al Simmons was always black for Spawn.
Yep.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Albert
he's-
Francis Simmons.
Thrasher responds to his
Did more
thing,
research than I did.
thanking Daredevil for the Dark Knight. It says when Frank Miller, who was making Daredevil more dark, left Marvel for DC, he incorporated what he learned into Batman for the Dark Knight Returns. That makes a lot of sense.
That's the best one out of them
Now,
all.
I think Dark Knight is the best one.
Dark Knight Returns is the best one.
Oh, Dark
that's
Knight
the
Returns, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's the
I'm
comics.
sorry.
That's
I was
that's
yeah, I
what
just
gave you
realized.
the influence for
Yeah.
the Michael Keatons. That's where
I was
got
thinking
it,
Dark Knight
because it was
Rises
all
for a
dark.
minute. Never mind. Yeah,
Because
Dark Knight
before
Returns.
Dark Knight Returns, Batman was colorful. He had the gray, the blue. He wasn't black suit until after the Dark Knight Returns.
Heck yeah.
so the movie The Watchmen,
Mm-hmm.
did they do a series on that at all?
Yes. Yeah, Watchmen
What
was
was
a
it on?
series. It might have been Hulu, I think. It might have been DC.
What's
Was it
that?
DC?
The Watchmen?
No, I
TV
think it was
series?
Hulu.
That's
It was
Prime.
Hulu or Amazon. I
It
think
was
did the
Am-
Watchmen.
It was Prime, yeah.
Was it Amazon?
Because The
Okay.
Yeah, I think it
Watchmen
was Prime.
should have been one of those things where they had a series where they would expose more of everything that went on and everything like that. So I mean, it was a good movie. I
Can I go
liked
off
it.
topic
But
here? They
HBO.
were supposed to do a.
Was it HBO?
That's what it's saying
Was
here.
I'll believe that.
I think HBO did it, but it's on Amazon.
Okay. So that makes sense. Then I thought it was Amazon or Hulu, but that works.
Yeah,
When
watch
I'll go
Watchmen
back
season
to
1, Amazon
They were
Prime.
supposed to do a Legend of Zelda TV series, and then the creators backed out because too much leak.
they did the
Oh, they
cartoon.
done that.
That was terrible. But when I was a kid, I
They were
liked it.
supposed to do a live
I was like,
Live action A Legend of Zelda?
They were,
Yeah.
yeah. They had it. They had the ball rolling, but they had too much. They didn't want nothing to get leaked out, and stuff
That
was
would have
being
made me
leaked,
upset.
and they pulled.
I think they could pull it off.
Oh, they definitely can.
There's there's actually there's a fan film Legend of Zelda out there. I gotta remember what it is. It's
Yeah,
actually
that-
on Plex
that's
for
not
those
that
that have
great.
that. and they did a really good job of it. It really was for a fan film. Obviously, it's fan film, so it doesn't have the big budget quality.
Well, no, I get
but
that.
you can see where you could bring a story and make this work. They did one even for Mega Man, one of the stupidest ones in the world that you think is going to make a great movie, and the fan film is amazing. So I think they could. Excuse me, princess. Back to
Okay,
Atlanta
so-
Thrasher. Says when Raph put his hand on Batman and
So
called him out.
Netflix, The
That was
Legend
crap.
of Zelda live action series was canceled because of leaks. So that, yeah.
For that one. You tell him, Raph. And again, what Thrasher says, because I have seen it, if you get a chance to watch Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, watch it. It's fucking great.
I got the comics too. I liked it
Okay.
so much I went out and got all the whole collection.
It is absolutely great.
Yeah, that just came out, what, 2 years ago, I think?
Yeah.
That was pretty
Well,
cool.
we had nothing to talk about, and we talked about a whole bunch of comic book stuff and movies and superheroes, a little bit about racism in there, and swapping up parts. Happy
You're
birthday,
welcome.
Drina. We always can come up with something, because sometimes we're like at the beginning, like we don't know what to talk about. But the rule about the show is you can't be rehearsed. You know, that's the thing, is it's just got to be off the cuff what we're really thinking.
And
No
I'm sitting here
rehearsal.
like, I can't remember no one's name. I need to rehearse for this shit.
I mean, you can look things up as we need to or anything like that, but it's supposed to be
We
off
got
the
two
cuff.
screens.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Which else? But thank you, because I think it was good. We actually did cover a lot, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it. We had a lot of engagement here from different people, especially Thrasher, who's a fan. Good to see you, by the way. We did miss you, Thrasher. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to everybody in the chat. As a reminder, you can always talk to us anytime just by reaching out to Ear Shoulder Voice. You can do it on our website, our Facebook page, Meta page. Either way, and we'll talk to you. You can do it anonymously, person to person. The people who are on this panel and part of our main organization group will be happy to talk to you about anything that's going on. We don't care how deep. If you're struggling, if it's really difficult to talk about, we're still going to be there for you. If it's really easy and you just want to know what we thought of the newest movie, message us. We'll talk to you about it. Sometimes you just want somebody to talk to, and sometimes you just need somebody there for anything, and we're there for that. Don't forget again to like, share, subscribe, and follow on all those wonderful websites that we are part of. Our next topic coming up on Wednesday is I'm Broken and You Broke Me, which is a very deep topic for a lot of people there who just feel like they've lost everything and they're not the person they once were, and it's because of things that have happened to them their whole life. Or maybe a particular instance, or somebody in particular that just has made them not the person they once were, they used to be so proud of, and they wonder where that person went. So we're going to be hitting that and talking a lot about that. Be there for that show. That's Wednesday, and our open forum will be back, but it will not be next Sunday, as that is Easter Sunday, so we want you to have a happy Easter on that one. So it'll be the following one for that. Finally, Thrasher says, sorry, been injured, good to see you all again. And, well, glad that you hopefully are not injured anymore. Because
Or
we like to have you
recovering
here. Yes,
very well.
recovering is good, yes. Absolutely. So thank you again for being here. Return every week for new shows here at Your Shoulder Voice. You all have yourselves a great night. Bye. I don't know where the credits are. There they are.
When you're alone and feeling down, and you're 10 feet underground, when you're so deep you're about to drown, when you're in the lost and found, 'cause heartaches only last a day. Ooh, but your heart will never fade away. Go out and find your way. Don't let them take your soul away. Not a week, not a single day. Hold true to what you wanna be. Never let go. And here's the key: be you.
Well, we pulled it off. Nice job.
I found my
Aren't
light.
you running for the bar?
I'm getting ready to. Yeah, as soon as I'm off here, I'm up there.
I've had too much this weekend.
Oh, fudge you.
I was there. I was waiting for you all weekend. I didn't see you, so I figured.
I saw you.
More.
I saw you. I saw Anthony.
When did you see me?
Are you kidding? You know how many pictures and videos are sent to me when I'm out at the bar?
You know the girls can't fucking help but take videos and send things everywhere.
Right. It's even regular customers, too.
Wait, did you see me dancing?
So, yeah, you had a good night. Ugh.
What the hell?
I told Dan he was supposed to strip.
I know, I was upset with that.
I was going to do it.
And he
He
played.
told Mary that he did,
Uh-oh.
and almost had her going. Like he almost had her believing, and she like smacked me on the back and was like, "Did he strip?"
That definitely would be bad. We
I
can't
told
have
Dan,
that.
I was like, "Dan, I'm sure if you offered, people would pay you.
Yes.
It
Yes,
wouldn't
they
be the
would.
same, but you,
But they would.
they would pay you."
Yes.
And he's like,
Just have to give a
"No,
discount.
no."
Oh, yeah, they would.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people that do, like, he's not here. Can you do it? You know?
Yeah.
They've asked you, Anthony.
Yep.
Yeah. But then
Oh, I
again,
can see Anthony.
is it going to
We
be
gotta
worth
get that
it with
hair
Mary's
wet. We have to
reaction?
get his hair wet. Like, yes.
I used to do that big old strip. We just pour water all over, do the whole flash dance thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was the bachelorette parties. I'm too old for that anymore because that was a lot of work. I was like, and now I'm like sensitive to colds. I'm like, oh god, that shit's cold. Nipples.
Cold nipples, cold nipples.
Right. Well, but it was definitely a good show, guys. So I appreciate everybody being on here. I like talking stuff like that. So I like talking comics and superheroes and whatever people bring up. And Drina's always good. It was good to see her. Happy birthday again, Drina, if you're out there.